What if I told you that right now, above your head in the silence of space, there could be an American weapon watching, waiting, and capable of striking without a trace? This isn't science fiction. This is the reality of modern warfare, where satellites are no longer just for communication or GPS, they're now becoming platforms for surveillance, jamming, and possibly even destruction. For decades, the United States has silently developed systems so advanced, so secretive that not even their closest allies know the full story. The idea of space as the next battlefield isn't new. Back in the Cold War, both the US and the Soviet Union fantasized about orbital dominance. But the technology simply didn't exist. Fast forward to 2025, then the line between science fiction and classified military reality has nearly vanished. Let's begin with the X-37B. This unmanned spaceplane, operated by the United States Space Force, looks like a mini space shuttle, but behaves more like a phantom. It launches into orbit, often without disclosing its mission, and stays there for hundreds of days before quietly returning to Earth. What does it carry? What does it test? The Pentagon remains silent, but defense analysts believe it may be capable of deploying miniature satellites, conducting surveillance, and possibly even testing directed energy weapons. One chilling possibility? This could be the prototype for a future orbital bomber, capable of launching precision strikes from space and re-entering Earth's atmosphere undetected. Then there are the rumors surrounding secret orbital platforms. These aren't just satellites. They're modular weapon stations that might be equipped with lasers, microwave cannons, or kinetic kill systems. Imagine a platform floating in low Earth orbit, invisible to civilian eyes, capable of blinding enemy satellites, frying electronic systems, or even disabling ballistic missiles mid-flight. While the US government never officially confirms the existence of such technology, multiple whistleblowers and declassified documents hint that tests of orbital weapons have been conducted as early as 2010. A more recent and far more terrifying development involves a technology known as rods from God. Imagine a satellite releasing a tungsten rod roughly the size of a telephone pole toward Earth, with no explosives on board. It travels at such a high velocity, nearly Mach 10, that the impact alone would destroy everything within a city block. This is known as a kinetic energy weapon. The devastation would be equivalent to a small nuclear blast without the radiation. No smoke trails, no missile launches, no warning, just impact. The US Air Force has studied this concept under its Project Thor, and while never officially confirmed to be operational, the science behind it is very real. Of course, the US isn't the only nation interested in space-based dominance. China and Russia are both investing heavily in anti-satellite technology. That's precisely why the US Space Command was reactivated in 2019, followed by the formation of the United States Space Force. Not as a symbolic move, but as a clear message. Space is now a war domain. To defend its critical assets like GPS, communications, and spy satellites, the US has deployed the GSSAP satellites, short for Geosynchronous Space Situational Awareness Program. These Guardian satellites quietly patrol orbital lanes, monitoring other satellites, especially those belonging to rival nations. Officially, they're passive observers, but many believe they could be upgraded with jamming systems or even mechanical arms capable of disabling enemy spacecraft. The military has also begun testing high-powered lasers from aerial and ground-based platforms. But in space, that's the next frontier. Lasers in orbit could target enemy satellites, blind reconnaissance optics, or disable missile guidance systems before they even leave Earth's atmosphere. The US Department of Defense has openly funded research into space-based directed energy weapons. And several prototypes have reportedly been tested aboard the International Space Station and other platforms. Cyber warfare also plays a role in America's space dominance. Classified hacking units under US Cyber Command may already have the capability to hijack or shut down foreign satellites in times of conflict. Think about that for a moment. Disabling an enemy's entire communications network without a single shot fired, just lines of code transmitted from a silent bunker in Colorado. But how much of this is real and how much is exaggerated? The US government remains tight-lipped, citing national security. That alone fuels speculation. Why so secretive? Why so silent? Part of the answer lies in the treaties that govern space. The 1967 Outer Space Treaty, signed by over 100 countries, prohibits the placement of nuclear weapons in orbit. But it says nothing about lasers, cyber weapons, or kinetic strikes using non-nuclear payloads. In this gray area, innovation thrives. Loopholes allow the militarization of space under the guise of research, surveillance, or satellite maintenance. Some argue that the hype is meant to deter adversaries, a kind of psychological warfare, letting rivals wonder what exactly the United States has floating above their heads. Others believe that real, functional weapons are already operational and have been used in silent wars we never hear about. There have been mysterious satellite failures, sudden GPS blackouts in conflict zones, and unexplained data disruptions. In military operations, could these be signs of space warfare already in motion? The Pentagon never confirms nor denies. But when asked about American readiness in space, officials always respond with one phrase: we will defend and we will deter. The private sector is also playing a key role. Companies like SpaceX, Lockheed Martin, Boeing, and Northrop Grumman are developing next-gen satellite systems, space transport, and potential orbital defense platforms. Some launches marked as classified payloads are suspected to be experimental. Space weapon systems. SpaceX's Starlink, while originally designed for internet coverage, has already been used in war zones like Ukraine. What if the next version of Starlink includes defensive capabilities, anti-jamming features, high speed, military data transmission, or even laser-based communication that cannot be intercepted? Many believe that the line between civilian and military space projects has already blurred. NASA missions, while peaceful on the surface, may share data or testing capabilities with defense programs. The Department of Defense has a long history of using scientific programs as cover for strategic experiments. The question isn't whether America has space weapons, it's how advanced they are and how willing the country is to use them. Some say it's just a matter of time before the first orbital strike takes place. It won't look like a missile. It won't sound like a bomb. There'll be no smoke, no warning, no scream in the sky. Just silence, then impact. That's the future of warfare. Faster, quieter, and deadlier. We are living in a time where space is no longer the final frontier, it's the final battleground. Satellites are no longer just tools, they're targets. And the nation that controls. The orbits controls the Earth, so is America hiding weapons in space? The truth is, we don't know the full picture. All the signs, the silence, the secrecy, the technology point to one chilling conclusion. They're already up there. The world below may never be the same again.